Hi, in this video we're going to continue in the porting of the Habitat corporate into JSS. We're going to look at how to create this card container as well as this promo. I've also created the promo in a way that it can be right image or left image, so this is one single promo that I'm using ultimately, and you can switch through the rendering parameters between left and right. So let's get started. So the first one, as I was saying, is this card container. So let me actually open my Sitecore environment and my Visual Studio environment. You can see here, this is how it's implemented in MVC. So it's actually just a for each on the different children of the model, and then just creating a card for each one of these. So that should be pretty basic. Let's see how we did it here. So this is my card container. What I did was I scaffolded a card container, and then of course I created the render function. And within that, I did this.props.fields.items. So as soon as you see that this is this.props.fields.items, this means that I've changed the type to be rendering context with children. So if I go back here and go to my rendering parameters, it's renderings, and then habitat home, and then card container, we'll see of course that its rendering contents resolver is the data source item children resolver. And this is why how I'm able to do this.props.fields.items. I did the map and then I just filled it in. That's very basic and very normal. The next step that I did here was I actually wanted to make this data source, so as soon as I add any card container, I can insert directly a card item here. So I went back to my templates, and then I created a template called card item. It inherits from the standard template, and what that has is card title, subtitle, read more, and image. And then I went to my card container and added to the standard values here an insert option of card items, so that you can directly add the card items from here or in here. And now let's see how it's actually working. So this is actually not my JSS environment. This is my normal MVC environment. Let's open our JSS. So this is my JSS environment, and here you have it. I have my card container, and its associated content is that card container data source that in turn has the card items. And I can just edit the content here, as you can see. So I have the WYSIWYG experience as well. This is pretty basic. I was actually thinking not to do it, and then I said, oh, but let's just do it for everyone to see how it's done. Now, the second one was pretty interesting. I know that you guys probably, anyone who's watched my previous videos has seen me do a promo image. And the previous promo image, I had the way to switch between right image and left image was this checkbox, which was really not the best way to do it. I didn't like the way it was done, so I decided to do it in a different way now, which is alignment, and then you can say left image or right image, and then it would switch. So if I just show it to you again, this is now the image is right. So if I go and edit component properties, I'm able to switch it to left image, and there you have it. I need to save. And there you have it. The image is on the left now. I can switch it back. To right image. Okay. And save. And there we have it. Now let's see how we did this, because this was pretty interesting. So the basic part is of course the promo image itself. So this is really basic. It just reads props.fields.heading, props.fields.content, and props.fields.image. If we do compare between the promo left and promo right, I'll just open both of them here. Let's take them side by side. You can see here, this is the main difference here is this order SM2 and order SM1. That's actually not here, and it's here in the image left. So what I wanted to do is, as I was saying, make them one component. So the way I did that was I filled in all the content, but then I did the class name for each of these two divs is dependent on something called image alignment. So if image alignment is true, then it's called SM6 only. If it's false, then it's called SM6 order SM2. And image alignment is checking props.params does not equal null, just a null check, and props.params.alignment is equal to this value, which is the field, the ID of the alignment field that we're going to see in just a few minutes. And that's all you need to do. And this is how I made it a drop down instead of a true, false, or a checkbox. Now, in order to do so, if I go back to my definitions here and open the promo, here it is, promo image. What I have is I have this normal fields, and then I have the params. I just added this checkbox just to show you how I did it previously, and then I have this alignment drop list. Now you have to be careful. Common field types.drop list is actually ignored in Sitecore for some reason. It should be actually a drop link as well. I'm not sure if that's gonna work or not. Let's just try it together, and then I'll just deploy JSS deploy app /c/d. Now once I deploy that, until I deploy it, actually, you'll see that the source is a query that says Sitecore system settings feature JSS experience accelerator promo image and then layout. This is because I created this new folder in my system here under settings, feature promo image, JSS experience accelerator promo image layout, and I have two values, just left image and right image. These could have been anything. All I care about is this value. So I said here, this is the value I'm using for the check. So 1C, 1C, 2E88. If we go back here to our promo image, you'll see that this is the check here. So I'm saying if the props.params.alignment, which is the drop link, if it's equal to that value, then return true, else return false. Let's see if that works or not. I'll just show you one trick if that doesn't work. So as soon as this is deployed, if we go back to our params, our rendering parameters, promo image rendering params, you'll see that the alignment type has been removed. So this is actually, I think it's a bug in JSS. It's not able to understand droplink and sync it. So all I needed to do is just add it myself once it deploys. And then if I go back to my home page, this is how this became a drop link. This became a drop link, and accordingly the value gets passed. So I'm not sure if you remember, but in one of the previous videos, I said that rendering parameters always just read the database value. So if you had an image here, it always read the image as the media tag that Sitecore saves in the database. So it's the same thing for the drop link. So by default, JSS just reads the value, which is of course the ID. And this is how I did that check. Now, anyone who knows Sitecore pretty well would realize almost immediately that edit component properties should have more stuff than that, because by default rendering parameters are not only these, but let me just show you any other rendering parameters. By default, they should have all these things like the caching, the parameters, the placeholder, the date source. This is again another bug in Sitecore. So the inheritance by default as soon as I deploy is incorrect. So if I go to my rendering parameters here, and see the inheritance, you're going to see it inherits from Sitecore standard templates. Whereas if I go to a normal rendering parameter in Sitecore, it should inherit from a different rendering parameter. Not sure if this one's actually correct or not. No, this is also not correct. Let me go to an SXA1, because these are, I know, are correct. So feature, experience accelerator, page content, rendering parameters. If you look at the inheritance here, it should be from system layout rendering parameters, standard rendering parameters. This is the default, so I actually need to override the other one. So let me just, so I don't forget it, and then I'll go back to my promo image rendering parameter, and then unprotect item, and base templates. I'll add the Sitecore templates, system, layout, rendering parameters, standard rendering parameters. I could have, of course, changed the actual base template for it, but I don't mind. Actually, I might mind. Let's see if it works like that or not. If not, I'll have to override. Yeah, it worked. So as you can see, the defaults are there, as well as my own data values. Thanks for watching. In the next video, we're going to look at how to create the news item. So let me just show it to you here. We're going to look at how to create this latest news widget, but before we do it, we're actually going to see how to create the route type for the news items themselves. Thanks for watching.